Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick post-fight analysis video. This is going to be a quick one because I'm going to talk more about this on probably tomorrow when I do my podcast episode and just do some of my live streams. But yeah, man, Terence Crawford versus Kell Brook. This fight pretty much went the way I felt it was going to go. Like I said, Terence Crawford, he just levels above somebody like Kell Brook. And at this point, I feel like, Kell Brook, he can only offer the basics. He can only offer the basics for so long. Like, I thought he would at least make it through maybe like 8 or 9, or like I said, late round stoppage around 10. Just because I felt like he was physically strong. He could take the punching power of somebody like Terence Crawford if Terence Crawford was patient. But the one thing I did say about Terence Crawford that made the math a lot quicker in this fight was the fact that Terence Crawford, he closes the show. He knows how to close it down. That's what I'm saying. Like, when he lands those precise, accurate shots, and he gets you hurt, he's going to get you out of there. So Terence Crawford, he was actually able to do that earlier than I thought, and he did it in 4 rounds. And like I said, it went pretty much the way I said it was going to go. Not a difficult fight at all. If it went 10 rounds, I didn't think it was going to be like a difficult fight, or like a tough code to crack. And early on in this fight, Terence looked like he was in trouble, with the jab from Kell Brook. But I think that was just a moment where he was kind of, feeling him out, feeling what kind of power he had, feeling how confident Kell Brook was. And he saw that Kell Brook really wasn't jumping on him after like the first 2 rounds. I think, he landed some solid jabs in the first 2 rounds and definitely won the first 2 rounds. But as soon as Terence Crawford switched to southpaw, which I do think that in that orthodox position it was where Terence Crawford felt like it would have been more trouble. But as soon as he switched to a left-handed fighter, that's where the trouble went in for Kell Brook. Kell Brook had trouble getting the jab off because the straight left hand was landing more, and the right jab and the right hook was very effective to the head and to the body for Terence Crawford. So as soon as he switched to southpaw, it was a game changer. And I think that's the main thing about Terence Crawford. Like, we always say that he's a switch hitter. He can do good in both sides, but to me, he does better as a southpaw. I think if he stays as a southpaw, that's where he's most effective and most dangerous. Like, when he's an orthodox fighter, he's a little bit more hittable, and I think that he's more prone to getting hit straight up the middle with straight shots. We've seen it in some past fights, but again, like I said, early on in this fight, he was just kind of in that feeling out process. Took a few hard jabs. I think he took a few more than he wanted to, but as soon as he switched to that left-handed stance early on in the 3rd round, it was all Terence. And then into the 4th round, just backing Kell Brook up. Kell Brook wasn't really letting his hands go anymore. He wasn't pulling the trigger. Like I said, he couldn't really. He really couldn't get that jab off like he wanted to. He landed a few good right hands since Terence was in that southpaw position, but he was still kind of lacking the confidence to go after it. And I think it just goes back into what we said. He is damaged goods. And Terence, he saw that. So Kell Brook took one chance in that 4th round, and Terence Crawford came in with that southpaw right hook, cracked him right up by the neck and the jaw, sent him reeling into the ropes. He jumped on him with a barrage of punches. Referee, he stepped in, gave him a standing count, which I think was fair, just to see if he was still okay. I do prefer those sometimes. Like, if a fighter doesn't take a knee and they take an onslaught, they might just need to clear their head. It's not necessarily where you got to wave it off and stop the fight. So he gave him a chance that time, but as soon as he let him go, Terence jumped on him, hit him with another straight left hand, let off a barrage. Not every punch landed in that barrage, but the referee, he went on and stopped it. I think he did a perfect job because, Kell Brook, I'd hate to see him really get damaged again. And I think whenever he got thumped with a couple of those left hands and right hands up by the head and by the eyes, I think it really started to wake something up in him. If not physically, maybe psychologically. So I think some of those shots kind of brought back memories of the like a relapse of the Golovkin fight and the Errol Spence fight. So he didn't really want to take that chance like a warrior and jump on him or go toe to toe with Bud. So he just said, hey, I'm gonna fall back. And I think those shots kind of gave him that reaction. But yeah, overall, man, like I said, this was a fight that I felt was going to be all Terence Crawford. And if it went 10, it was going to be because, Kell Brook had the strength to last. But if not, and if the code got cracked early, this was how it was going to go. And Bud dominated. Now, does this fight elevate Bud anymore or make a big statement for Bud? No, not really. This is what I talked about on the Jab podcast with my partner. We talked about this where Bud is pound for pound one of the best fighters skill-wise, to do it as far as showcase his skills. But when you get into this welterweight division, this is what I say, though. When you get into the welterweight division, you got to start putting those skills to the test. And that's the only way you're going to elevate, to me, as far as being the #1 welterweight or being #1 pound for pound now. I feel like Terence Crawford really has to start putting those skills to the test. And like I said, this fight here does not push him any higher, and it doesn't push him any lower. It just kind of keeps him where he's at. During this 2020 pandemic, it's kind of like a stay busy fight, and it kind of helps push him out of his top rank contract. Hopefully, hopefully this fight is another fight that, you can mark off on his top rank contract, where Bob Arum can say, okay, it's almost over. Like, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. Did he re-sign again, or is his contract really expiring in 2021? That's the word I heard. Like October 21, 2021 is supposed to expire. But let me know, guys, because that contract needs to go. That contract needs to be done now, because if Bud wants to get higher in the welterweight division, he's going to need to get out of that contract, because I think that's really the only thing that's holding him up, unless Bob Arum and Terence, they really get go head to head now and say, okay, Bud says, I want Sean Porter now. After an easy fight like this, y'all got to kick 2021 off right with the Sean Porter fight. And that's just my feelings. But like I said, overall dominant performance by Terence Crawford, showcased the same pound for pound skills that we appreciate. Again, does this elevate him any higher, or does it make him drop any lower? No, not at all. But let me know, guys, what you thought of the fight in the comment section. There was actually some people that felt like Kell Brook was going to win this fight, but in no way I felt like Kell Brook was going to win this fight. Thought he might get in a few thumps, which he did, with the jab, but, no, definitely he wasn't going to win this fight. But yeah, guys, I'm going to talk more about this fight in the welterweight division in the coming week. Make sure y'all subscribe. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.